Here it goes a little bit more into detail on the environment, materials, and theme and what those look like. The environment needs to have circle time, name identification, displays for natural materials, etc. For the materials themselves, you can use journals, memory books, bookshelves, open space for large structures, wicker baskets, etc. And for the theme, here's examples of some of the areas that you can create: reading and writing, dramatic play, science, math, and more. In this video, I just want to point out some of the aspects that I think are super cool and see them working together. Here's a chalkboard wall. Here's a light table. Here's a reading and writing center. And here's an interactive science center. Here's some still images of nature materials that you can incorporate into your own classroom. And also here's some activities with explanations and what they teach children. Down here we've got moon craters, where kids press into clay or moon sand using buttons, bottles, and objects. We also see over here, which is personally one of my favorites, art recreation of famous artwork using loose marbles, buttons, etc. Rock names that are very important with transitions and new students. There's also nature stamping, which is similar to the moon crater activity, where kids use model clay as a base with different seeds and nuts from nature. In the middle, there's lights and leaves, which is very easy to do and rather inexpensive. And also why the log face, where kids use different sticks, rocks, and nuts to create different emotional faces. Here are two important STEM activities that you can incorporate as well. On the left, we see a small group activity where kids are weighing different items and comparing them. We've got corks and pebbles, a larger scale with a larger rock, and a bowl where kids can actually weigh the rock itself. We have an explanation board and also other materials off to the side where children can use them. Small group activities are very important because they're meant to reflect what the children have already learned and what they're working on. By doing so, teachers are able to encourage social interaction and create a more inclusive environment. On the right, we see a large group activity with a math center. Each of these items are placed on the paper so that kids can number out how many are there and use the corresponding number. We've got pebbles, seashells, pine cones, popsicle sticks, and cotton balls, and more. And the reason why large group activities are so important is because they're generally used to introduce a new topic with songs and an interactive activity and brings that large sense of community, which is so important in the Reggio Emilia philosophy. Here's a great example of a working classroom. We've got lots and lots of natural light coming in with different plants, an interactive table here with sand and different liquids. We also have a bookshelf with very strategically placed and organized materials, eye-level documentation of the kids' work. We also have more plants, another working table. We've got frames, investigative materials on this bookshelf, and an activity set up and ready to go. On this website, you can actually purchase items that are specifically meant for the Reggio Emilia approach, which is very interesting. So the CMU Child Development Learning Laboratory is all Reggio Emilia based. Here is one of their one of their pod schedules and what a normal day usually looks like for them. We see lots of different activities for the children with transitions set in place that are very important. Here's what their school looks like. We've got one classroom, another, the third one, and the last one. This is what their lobby looks like, very nature and Reggio Emilia oriented. Their lunchroom, and their activity center, and their 2 hallways, and their play area outside. So while all that's said and done, it's very important to understand how this works together as a teacher. You need to know how to assess the children, what their educational goals are, and the target areas of development for each child. For assessments, you want to make learning and thinking visual. You can do this by collecting comments throughout their work, taking pictures and video of the students while working, and collecting work samples, and then display it for them with descriptions. Educational goals are to encourage, explore, problem solve, and create. This is very important through teacher, child, and caregiver collaboration, lots and lots of project-based learning so that children are researchers, using the 100 languages of children, and small and large group activities. And as for areas of development, you want to create social, emotional opportunities, cognitive, and fine and large motor. This is able to be implemented through the use and respect of children's natural rights, allowing the child and their interests to influence their learning, having a strong sense of self-confidence and self-awareness for them that can be built up, initiating a love for learning, and also using that 100 languages of children again. So just to wrap up, here's one last quote from Malaguzzi. This is everything that I have covered, from the fundamentals and the benefits to create a very effective Reggio Emilia approach.
In response to the tragedy of World War II, people from the town Reggio Emilia developed a new model of education. War ought to never happen again. Led by Loris Malaguzzi, a teacher, their idea was to enhance a child's learning through real-life experiences instead of a fixed curriculum, so that each child develops a love for discovery, forms a personality of their own, and learns to respect others. Land, money, food, and skills for the first preschool were provided by the community. The Reggio Emilia approach is based on the philosophy of an image of a child. All children are viewed full of potential, with an innate sense of curiosity and endless imagination. They are creative, capable of constructing their own learning, and they have a natural interest to explore. While they follow their own interests, they also stay connected with others. Adults nurture their learning by providing a rich environment and support. Instead of a one-size-fits-all curriculum, Reggio Emilia uses a child-centered approach and project-based learning. Projects can emerge anytime, for example during play. Teachers can observe and create opportunities for new learning at a specific instance. For example, by opening up new environments, letting children raise thought-provoking questions, or by inviting others to collaborate. After an intervention, the children take control and progress independently until the project is finished and can be shared with others. Throughout a project, children naturally embody the spirit of researchers, risk-takers, designers, and explorers. They make hypotheses, try new things, investigate, play, and imagine.
I have to cut the video short and go back to our wrap-up. Malaguzzi said, our image of the child is rich in potential, strong, powerful, competent, and most of all, connected. Thank you so much for growing your knowledge on Reggio Emilia. Here's our credits.